What's up? This is my official first video. Well, not second, I guess, but this is the first real video that's gonna give you kind of a taste of, like, what I'm gonna be doing on this channel. So Zodiacs and what is it? Zodiacs and understanding them, and more importantly, understanding yourself. The thing that a lot of people get wrong with Zodiacs is that they just think because it doesn't comply, like it doesn't meshes with them, or it doesn't like show their individual quality of certain things about them right there at that second, that it's just suddenly wrong or it's suddenly incorrect. Whereas a lot of people don't understand is that your zodiac sign, especially when you get a full natal chart, a full accurate natal chart, it becomes more apparent and it shows more of your qualities as a person as you get later on in life and as you kind of learn more about yourself and understand yourself. And one of the big things about zodiac that people don't really understand is that it can help you understand yourself, because certain things you probably not gonna feel like, I don't do this, these things don't apply to me because I don't do this, or I don't do things a certain way. A lot of people gonna be thinking like that, but in actuality, give it a few years, you'll start to encapsulate more of these zodiac traits. For example, Taurus, like I am. Taurus. Like, if you would ask me, am I real stubborn? Am I a stubborn person? I'll most likely say no. I'm not no stubborn person. I care and I kind of take in. But nah, that's not good. Don't got nothing to do with stubborn. I'm thinking something stubborn. No, I'm not stubborn. I wouldn't say that I'm stubborn because I kind of look at situations and see like, okay, is this way right? Is this way wrong? Like, I can accept that my way is like wrong, or may just not, how would you say, work with like a certain like line of thinking that somebody else has. I get that. So I wouldn't personally think myself as stubborn. But then, when I sit back and think on it, there's many times where I have kind of been, as someone would say, stubborn. There's like many times that I've been quote unquote stubborn and just kind of did my own thing regardless of people around me telling me one thing or another. So regardless, even though it's not that stubborn, it's still stubborn. So the short summary is that I still show those traits of being stubborn, even though like I don't really see it. I don't really see I see how stubborn I can be, how stubborn I am, or what people would say. I don't really see it, but I still show these traits. And then I have kind of lately learned that I do show signs of being like real stubborn. I don't do it that much, but I do show signs of being being stubborn. Like, there's certain situations where somebody could label me as stubborn. I say one situation, they could easily just label me as stubborn because of that one situation. It's not like I just never show off this trait. It's just I feel like I show off a little bit less than like other people. They're quote unquote stubborn. They might show more of it than me. And that's something that people really just don't understand about, so that can kind of get wrong. Because the characteristics or traits don't apply to them at that moment. As you get older, a lot of these traits start to apply to you, and you start to show a lot of these traits off, even though you're not trying to. Cause it's not like you look at the zodiac sign or whatever, and then you want to. It's not like I tried to encapsulate these traits. I just started to encapsulate more of these traits as I got older. And not only that, some traits just started to I just kind of just grow into some of these traits. And not like even some that I didn't even know that they tied with being a Taurus, I just started to grow into. Also, that's another thing that people get wrong, is that zodiacs it's not just like one zodiac sign. You have one that shows off more of your personality, like the main chunk, like the main part of your personality, kind of just able to label you. That's like what your what most people assume zodiacs are. But the thing is, zodiac signs, there's more than one. There's one from there. You have a sun, which is your primary. Yeah, you can say it's primary. Then the secondary will be your moon sign, and then after that, it's just like a whole list of just different planets and stuff that shows different signs, and based on what that sign is and that placement, it can affect how the other signs work. So say like I'm a Taurus, so a lot of things being a Taurus, like a lot of things with Taurus are seen as they're seen as stubborn, they're seen as maybe lazy, cold, very like logical. Thinking we're very logical and not very emotional. But then here's the kicker. But then my second zodiac sign is Cancer. And Cancer as a sign is very, emotional and very like caring towards others. And that one has, not as much as the sun, like how much it kind of like, how much of his, I don't want to say personality, I guess, but it's how you are. It kind of, it capitulates, what do I look for? Capitulates? Something like that. It shows off kind of the same amount as your sun sign, maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe yes, it's less. Yes, it's less. It's not a little bit. It's like a little bit. Yes, it's a little chunk less. So a little bit less. It shows of your Then it shows a little bit less than your sun sign, but it still is a big part of like how you act, and more importantly, like I said, it affects the sun sign and like all your other signs too. So because even though like Taurus is originally like stubborn or emotional or something like that, the Cancer in contrast is very emotional, maybe caring towards people. How people describe Cancer, very caring. Not really stubborn, probably like being a lot more passive, being a lot able to go along with certain things, not being so stubborn and like stuck into an idea. That's what Cancer is, and because I have Cancer in my second sign, my second sign or moon sign, as you would put it, because I have that Cancer there, it basically means that even though I am a Taurus, like my primary is a Taurus, that Cancer affects it and make me a lot more, caring, and a lot more caring and a lot more, like emotional, like being, kind of less story and more easygoing with certain things. That way, the Cancer affects the sun sign. That's how that kind of a dichotomy works. And because of that, it changes just how I would be as like a Taurus by itself. How most people would envision a Taurus by itself. It changes that. So, and I show both of these traits. It's not just like one is more than the other, or because that Cancer is there, just like it affects it, and now I only like show one trait, or like, one trait out of the two, or like I portray like one a whole lot more. Well, I guess kind of sun sign or a little bit more I portray, but I still portray both, because like how I am externally to people, like how I may look. A lot of people may look at me like cold. They look at me like a logical, like probably like a logical person that's kind of cold. A person that doesn't care that much about things or even like people, events. They'll kind of like put that label on me. But in actuality, I'm kind of a softie. I don't want to say a softie like that, but I am like a lot more soft, I guess, than more people would think that I am. A lot more like soft and caring about stuff than people would really think that I am. But that's just kind of how it plays out. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So based on like the second sign, it can affect your first one. It kind of changes how your first sign really acts, and then that kind of just that same kind of like situation or dichotomy goes down the whole like list of zodiac. So you have signs in your what is it? Your Mars, Venus, Pluto. You have signs in all of these. So to really understand that, you need to do like a full like natal chart. You have to like type in your birth date or whatever to like a full natal chart, and then that'll show you everything. But again, like all these signs will be affected by other signs. So really, most of the time, if you have a birth chart, your birth chart is probably going to be unique from most other people's birth chart. It's going to be kind of hard for somebody to have the exact same, not only your first and second signs, so your sun and your moon, also your Mars, your Pluto, your Mars, Pluto, Neptune, uh, Uranus, Venus, like all those signs is probably going to just be different, and that shows how that kind of affects you as a person. It shows like the little things that most people probably wouldn't know. It'll show the like little aspects that most people don't really know about you, or things that you don't even really know about yourself. And that's one of the great things of Zodiac sign, because it shows you more about yourself. Even though you might not think of it now, you might think, oh, this doesn't apply to me now, or like I don't feel like this applies to me. Give it a few years, hell, maybe even months. Because people change from, people definitely change when they first view their Zodiac sign. Like I said, especially if you, like a friend just told you or whatever, or you just found out about it. And you just like check the Zodiac sign, man, I don't show none of that stuff. I'm not like that. You how you gonna think then, but then give it a few years, and then you're gonna find that like you kind of show a lot more of these traits than you initially thought, and then you're gonna be like, oh, this is weird. I didn't think, like, it's kind of weird. I just started calculating. You started showing more and more of these traits. You're like, wow, that's weird. I didn't think that. And sometimes not even that, like you change that much. You might not even change. You just kind of just understand more about yourself. And then when you understand more, then you go back to the Zodiac sign. Then you're like, oh, I do show this, even though you wasn't like aware of it. Now you know, like, oh yeah, I do show like more of this sign. I do like show like a lot more than I initially thought. That's how you're gonna be thinking. But most people say when they just like look at Zodiacs and then they just say, oh no, I don't, it's not me, and then just never look at it again. But if you just come back and look at it or just think about it, then you find out that you do show a lot more of this trait than you initially thought. And that's one of the biggest things about Zodiac sign. Is Zodiac sign help you understand yourself. Because it's not just about your sun and your moon, like I said, it's the whole natal chart. The whole natal chart you need to look at. The whole natal chart, and it helps you understand more about yourself. It helps you understand certain things about yourself. Because, like I said, all those signs and stuff, they're going to be basically independent towards just you. Like, all of them. So I think there's like, 13 maybe. But no, I think there's 12. Yeah, I think there's 12. There's 12. So there's 12, but then I think there's like 2 other ones that aren't really Zodiac signs, but they still do tell you more about yourself. North Node, I think there's something else. North Node and like something else. And that's something totally different though. That's like another video type stuff. But all those things help shape like who you are. And a lot of it is really independent to just you. Like there's probably very few people that have the exact same, like the full list, the exact same list, like the exact same natal chart list. There's very, very rare, and even then there's still going to be certain things that may differ. Like some people may show more of their traits, and some people may show less. So even then, you're still not just going. It's not just going to be a copy and paste. It's not like that. There's very few chances it's going to be a copy and paste. And even then, like the degrees matter too. Like because when you're born, you're born at a certain place and time, and there's going to be like. Yeah, if you put in exact date into like natal charts and your natal chart sites and stuff, there's that birthday and time of birth. It's gonna show you that there's like certain degrees. So, say me being like a Taurus, like let's say a 1 degree Taurus, so like a 5 degree Taurus or something like that. I'm gonna encapsulate more of, I think it's Aries after Taurus. I'm gonna encapsulate, show more traits of being kind of an Aries than really being a Taurus. I'm gonna show more of that because this is leaning a lot more towards me being an actual Aries. You know, yeah, especially like a 1 or 2 degrees Taurus, it's showing more signs of actually being an Aries. So even then, they're not going to have the exact same degrees either. So, and the degrees kind of affect how much of the traits you kind of show, and like how you show it, like how how like how much you show it, like what is the intensity of like the quality that you show, all of that stuff, all of that good stuff is gonna go into the degrees. So all of that stuff affects your zodiac sign. Yeah, all that stuff affects zodiac sign. More importantly, it affects you. That's the most important thing. It affects you. It affects you as a person. And just knowing more about your zodiac signs. I mean, you can just learn a lot about yourself that you realistically wouldn't know, or things that you didn't even know that you would even like vibe with or consider, or even having the characteristics of some of these things. You wouldn't think about it. You wouldn't give like a second glance. And that's something that a lot of people don't really get when they talk about zodiac signs. And they don't get like the full scope, and they don't really understand it. They just kind of get the surface level stuff without going any deeper. But yeah, those are kind of like zodiac signs in a nutshell. There's still like more information about zodiac signs and how it pertains to every like individual and single person. But most of that stuff you kind of just have to look up yourself. But the main thing to get like out of this video is that the zodiac signs help you understand like who you are and certain characteristics that you are going to portray and that you may portray. There's still other things, like I said, that's gonna affect the thing, like numerology and all the other stuff. That's some other stuff though. But all of these things can help kind of show, help kind of show who you really are. Like certain things that you didn't even know that you even liked or would like, or characteristics that you didn't even know that you would ever even like, that you didn't even think you had. All that stuff you can kind of get out of zodiac signs. And that's like the big thing. That's like the big thing. So if you can really understand zodiac signs and like the different placements, all of them, like the different signs, like besides like Taurus, like maybe Aries, Cancer, Virgo, Aquarius, all these different signs, you can really like understand like what the signs are, and then understand how those signs affect other signs, and like understand everything kind of on the natal chart. Like you can just go look at the natal chart and you understand like all of it. Then you really can learn a lot about yourself that you really thought that you wouldn't know, that you really wouldn't know. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it'll definitely show you a lot about yourself, and that's kind of the main thing. That is going to show you a lot about yourself when you get deep enough into it. It'll show you a lot about yourself. So that's something that I kind of see like a lot of people get wrong with zodiac signs. They don't really understand like the full scope of zodiac signs. And something that, just a little something that I kind of wanted to address. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I really wanted to say. I got basically over all the points I wanted to make. So yeah, that's kind of zodiac signs in a nutshell, and how it pertains to you as an individual and certain things that you are like kind of just understanding yourself, and it helps you understand yourself. So with that, I'm done. Have a good day or night wherever you're at, and be good.